Good evening, everyone. I'm Cecilia. I'm the moderator of this discussion panel. I'm very honored to be here for this discussion called Palestinian Views and Voices. For the next hour, we will be talking about the function of documenting Palestinian realities in the military-occupied West Bank and in the Gaza Strip affected by multiple wars. How do filmmakers and reporters portray their country? How do they choose the words and images to express their own reality to the rest of the world? Tonight we have a unique opportunity to share with three incredible guests. They all have different backgrounds, but one common vocation or common destiny: storytelling. So let me present to you Mohammed Jabali, the filmmaker of Life is Beautiful. So as we all know now, since we just saw your movie, you were born and raised in Gaza and faced multiple problems due to the unrecognition of Palestine in Norway, which also is the case in numerous Western countries. You are now pursuing your career in Tromsø, recognized as a professional filmmaker, BAFTA, and numerous other prizes winner. Thank you so much for being here, Mohammed. Farah Nabolsi, at the end. You are a Palestinian and British human rights advocate and fiction filmmaker, Oscar-nominated and BAFTA winner for your short film, The Present. In 2020, you were born and raised in London from Palestinian parents who had fled the West Bank after the Israeli military occupation started in 1967. You have worked in financial fields for years before entering the film industry in 2016. You have spoken and screened your work internationally at film festivals, universities, and at the UN. Your first feature film, The Teacher, has its world premiere in September 2023. It's a human drama set in a political landscape, a fiction based on thousands of non-fictive stories of injustice and inequity. I urge the audience to take your tickets to the screening of this movie, The Teacher, on Saturday, March 16, as tomorrow's screening, which is the Switzerland premiere of The Teacher, is already sold out. So take your tickets as quick as possible if you want to see it. Thank you very much, Farah, for being with us. Motaza Zaiza, like Mohammed, you were born and raised in Gaza. You wanted to become a photographer to show the beauty of Gaza to the world, but instead you became one of the most important witnesses of the horror that hit Gaza following Israeli military response to October 7 attacks. By now you have almost 20 million followers on Instagram. This is huge. No other journalist in this world has so much influence on social media. You were named Man of the Year by the magazine GQ Middle East, and one of your photos showing a girl trapped in rubble from an Israeli airstrike was named one of Times Magazine top 10 photos of 2023. You had to leave Gaza 6 weeks ago for Doha in Qatar. All you wish now is to return to your homeland, but meanwhile you are invited to different events to talk about your work. So this is the very first time you come to Europe. So please feel hugely welcome here in Geneva, and thank you for being with us tonight. Let's start the discussion now with you, Mohammed, because we just seen your film. It's your third documentary, which was premiered in November 2023. Why did you choose the title, Life is Beautiful?
I mean, life is beautiful. It's always been my motto of existence. So I always said life is beautiful. In Arabic, الحياة حلوة. I mean, all the way, even like in like ending a conversation, we say like, bye, goodbye, see you tomorrow, life is beautiful. So it's something that I carried with me all the time, even in Gaza, like before it's been integrated in me. So I thought this is also the way that I want to see my life. This is the way that I wanted to maybe understand my life better by Life is Beautiful. Maybe this is the dream that I still trying to wake up from, and the hope of existence.
What role do you want this documentary to play? Oh, excuse me, Mata, do you want to say something?
No.
Go ahead.
It's conversation driven, so anybody, we can, I think that's the...
Just, I was going to mention that Muhammad's stories, he's one from 2.5 million. And believe me and him, I'm so lucky. We are very lucky. At least we had the tools to express about our stories, but there's millions. Till now, couldn't tell the world about their stories. So we feel like it's our responsibility on us to tell other stories. So yeah, just want to say that.
I mean, also that's why we are here. Also that's why we are a breathing freedom, and the freedom that we wanted to see actually, and we still. I mean, every day we wake up and I don't know if I said in my previous film, Ambulance, which I hoped that it would be my last film about war in my hometown. And I feel that I failed because also it wasn't the last war, and it kept going on. And I said in the end of the film, I wish to wake up for a new day without feeling panic. I wish to wake up on a new day without feeling panic. And since then, I every day wake up on a new day, but with panic, not without feeling panic.
Being here, it's always a thing that we kept dreaming about. Me, Muhammad, maybe Farah. Yeah, but we didn't expect or we didn't wish to be here because of war. I always say that I talk about myself because I don't want to judge others, or maybe I don't give them the rights with my talks, but I was struggling. Maybe the most two words that you heard in the film, Rafah crossing. I had a phone call here, a message, that turned my day to a dark day because of the crossing. I was waiting for something. Usually I don't talk about my personal things, but after what I've been through, after what Gaza been through, I don't care. We already lost our privacy in life there. So it's not only Muhammad problem, it's not my only problem. It's all Gazan problem. Still now.
But now that you are free to travel the world to present your film, Mohammed?
Really free?
No.
I need a visa to everywhere I go. I mean, in Europe, I have the permit. I actually applied. I'm invited to a big film festival in Toronto, in Canada. And the first time that I applied to Canada, also with Ambulance, I was denied the visa because I was in London, and the guy who rejected my visa was not satisfied enough that I will return. So that's why this is probably I don't know, more or less, maybe now he will be satisfied, or she, I don't know. But I applied since January and I'm waiting. I'm invited to in New Zealand, Sydney, all the world, but I can't every day to go on the website and apply for visas. Well, that's a problem. This is for me, the word visa bring trauma. I put it in a film to make you understand what does that mean. Maybe many others also dream of a better opportunity of going, traveling and stuff. But it's so complicated. I mean, just mentioning this, everybody's tightening it. Everybody's making it complicated and difficult. But we have I mean, if there is a wall, I know if you build a wall in front of me without me agreeing to this wall, I will climb to it or I will destroy it. So that's the way. Always you try to stop me of what I want to reach, but then at the same time, we try to break these walls that stands in our way. So
Muhammad, did you have any idea that you would be one day considered as a stateless person?
Never in my life. I was surprised. I never put in this term. You know, I was shocked when I chose that state. I was forced, unfortunately, to choose stateless.
But maybe here we can say that in the world there's a majority of countries who recognize Palestine, but the ones who don't are the Western countries.
Not enough countries that recognize Palestine. I mean, like a few countries in Europe, Sweden and Spain maybe, and they're trying to push more, maybe Iceland too. But like you, it's just like you, I mean, what else should we do to be able to be recognized? We are dying every day. You see us all on TV. He covered everything. I mean, I don't know what to show you more. Like, I mean, I really.
You show your film. This is.
That's what I'm trying to do.
In what role do you wish that your film could play? What role do you think your film could play?
I mean, it's important the role of reaching people and changing their mind on our life, and that we are like, we just call for the right for everybody. I want to feel like anybody here who can be waking up normally, travel wherever you want. Of course, like then it's decision. Like when I get my freedom back, I can decide then if I want to stay in Gaza or leave or go to the West Bank. I never been to the West Bank. I know how much I'm recognized as a filmmaker, and if there is film festival there, I want to go and attend and do. How? I can't. I don't know. I need a permission. Maybe tomorrow's Ramadan, but inshallah, let's pray for that. So.
Because of this, we discovered that there is an area in Texas called Palestine. Because of Facebook, you put your location on Palestine, Gaza. No, Palestine, Texas. No, it's Palestine, but there's. And also, for the West Bank thing, I applied for permission to go to West Bank because I used to work with UNRWA USA as producer in Gaza Strip. And they applied for me to go there to do some work in refugee camps. They applied the first day, second day I got denied. For security reasons, yeah. And I now maybe denied forever.
So it's really separated. Nobody can go from the West Bank to Gaza.
Our friend Farah from Nablus originally, I meet her. She's a Palestinian. I have many friends from the other side of Palestine that we're really close friends, and we just met here in the diaspora.
We can meet in every place in the world, but not in Palestine. Farah can come to Gaza, we can go to the West Bank, or you can go to Jerusalem. Maybe if you have cancer, you need a treatment, you can apply and wait. Maybe you'll die, or you will die in Jerusalem, and then you will die. No one went there and he got healed, actually. So, no. So, or you need to be like 70 years old. You can't move even.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, when are we going? Sorry, it's not sorry actually. It's just like when I should be, like I don't want to be 60 and 70 until I reach that level of being able to. I really I mean, it's like we faced what we faced, but we're still calling for it. We're not gonna. We're not okay. We feel we look tired maybe, or we feel tired. We are exhausted and we are in pain. At the same time, we will never just like bow down. We will keep fighting until we reach this goal.
Apart from all the problems that you have been documenting for your film that you showed us, did you find other obstacles to produce your film or release it, knowing that the last war had already started?
I know that we are online, but I don't want to mention that broadcast that told me. I was making in Norway. This is like a story. Like I've been trying to be in co-production with that broadcast in Norway, the national broadcast, to make it clear. And the person who was in commission, it took 1 year to receive no. And the reason is I'm too close to the story. You know what does that mean? I'm too Palestinian to be able to tell my own story. And that's the problem we face also. Like, I'm not saying it's easy to make a film like this. Also, maybe Farah have the same situation. When you make a new film, a new story, it will take you a tons of information. Of course, like finance, because you cannot just make it of course you have to pay the team, and at the same time, it's not like, I mean, we need, I mean, like, it's just too much actually. And this, I mean, of course, like now it's maybe more easier because like I'm approved, I can tell a story, and I don't need a film education to be a filmmaker. And even though I studied this 3 years, I did the moving images, and I'm doing also a master in fine art for my mom, not for myself, because we are a society that we love to be educated, and we love to make our parents proud, even if it's I mean, yeah, to make my mom and my dad, Allah yarhamha, proud of being educated, and not for myself, I'm even doing that. So it just for the society. And that's the importance. Also, just take it, because the society think that if you are more educated, you will be more received in society. It's like, not like, yeah.
Since 3 or 4 months, you're now presenting this movie, and what are the feedbacks?
I mean, like, you can ask the audience here.
It's always the same.
Yeah, thank you.
Farah, you have studied finance, worked in an investment bank, and then built a children-focused business before starting to work in the film industry in 2016. What made you decide to become a filmmaker?
Well, so I'm Palestinian by heritage, but I was born, raised, educated in the UK and London. And I went to Palestine many times as a child, but I went, and then 25 years, nothing, around the first Intifada. And then I went back for the first time as an adult, around 10 years ago. And despite knowing very well what was taking place there, I witnessed it with my own eyes for the first time as an adult. And it hit me. It's a colossal injustice. I witnessed the discrimination and the oppression in what is militarily occupied and colonized territory, and throw in a mix of apartheid as well. And I was really blown away by how institutionalized and systematic and brutal it is. And so it took me a couple of years of my own personal therapeutic writing. But what I realized is I wanted to express myself creatively about what I had seen and felt and witnessed. And to be honest, on a very personal level, it's a means for me to deal with my own personal pain over this, and to use the creative process to channel, to process, to cope with the injustice that I had witnessed. And there is nothing more cathartic or spiritual than to create. But also, on a more macro level, I recognized that every colonizer throughout history works very hard to first dehumanize the indigenous population that they are colonizing, and then brand them as barbarians, and then deny they ever existed. And Israel is no exception to this. So I recognized very quickly that it was so important to reverse that dehumanization. And that's the root, because any and all atrocities can be carried out against that population with no recourse. Exactly what we are witnessing now in Gaza. Exactly that. The dehumanization. And now 100,000 people can be killed and maimed and injured and buried alive and dead under the rubble. So in that recognition, I realized that through art, through my creative expression, I can tell these stories, these human stories, that by default will rehumanize. Because when you tell a good story and you really look at the characters that you are creating, and my fiction is very, very rooted in truth and fact and reality, then when you tell that human story, you can reverse that dehumanization, I hope. So it was two levels. How can I cope with my own, trauma in my own diaspora, or in exile? We don't even say in diaspora, in exile. We are Palestinians in exile. But also, how can I reverse, as a human being, not as a Palestinian, I recognize the severe dehumanization of the Palestinian people.
You have then founded your own production company and released in September 2023, The Teacher. This film is about military occupation, house destruction, settlers' violence, and unpunished crimes. But it also shows the need to resist of people who refuse to kneel down to injustice. So to whom do you address this movie? For who is it to see?
For who is it to see? Okay, first of all, I just want to say something. For me, the film is not about those things, by the way.
So tell us, what is your film about?
I mean, hopefully some people will be seeing it tomorrow and on the 16th. So the socio-political elements that you just mentioned, and that landscape is present in the story, and it's integral, don't get me wrong. But my focus is on the personal, and it's a deeply human story centered around specific characters, and that's what I'm interested in examining: the human dynamics, the emotions, the let's say the choices and the decisions the characters make. And so it's that what I'm looking at, not everything around. The landscape is built so that as audiences, when you're a storyteller, you want people to understand those characters deeper. You want to understand their lived experience that much more. And so I felt I had to create that landscape, because most people have either no idea, or they definitely cannot, even if you tell them, they cannot imagine it. But in film, in cinema, you can create that world for them. So that's what I was doing. The film, for me as a filmmaker, my film is for audiences. It's about taking audiences on an emotional journey into the lives and experiences of those characters. And I hope leaving them contemplating the decisions and the choices the characters make, and the very cruel reality in which they're forced to make them. But I have to be honest with you, as Israel is conducting a genocide right now in Gaza, I hope and I believe the film has the capacity to lend a context that is very important, that seems to be missing from the discourse. And so really, when I say audiences, I hope in my heart, and the beautiful thing is, many people who've seen this film so far also hope for this. They say, the whole world needs to watch this film. Not because it's my film, but because what the film says, and the lived experience. So I hope it's for everyone.
I agree totally. I loved your movie.
Thank you.
And I've read that you shot in Nablus, in the West Bank, occupied, military-occupied West Bank. So how can you shoot a film in these conditions?
Yeah, it was. I won't lie. It was the hardest experience of my entire life. Making cinema, independent cinema, is very, very difficult anywhere in the world. And you have the practical, logistical, financial problems and issues like any other film. But on top of that, like you said, if you're having military occupation and settler colonization unfolding around you in real time, then you've added even more problems to the mix. Like, yes, okay, Israeli military checkpoints or roadblocks. And it's frustrating, and you lose money and those kind of things. But that's I signed up for that. I knew that those are the kind of issues I would have. What I wasn't ready for as the challenge really was the emotional, mental toll of making a film that is set in a very harsh reality, shooting that film in that reality with that reality unfolding around you. An example of this that I have given is during our shooting period, we got word that illegal Israeli settlers had descended onto the village of Burin, and they started to burn the olive trees there. Now, the teacher is from the village of Burin, and without ruining the film, there is a moment where the trees are being burned in the film. So the dynamics there are you can even see the smoke. You know, it's or on my way to work one morning at 5 in the morning, I passed by a couple and their 6 children, and they were standing in front of their freshly demolished home. So you're trying to do justice to the injustice that's playing out in reality. It's not a period drama. It's not a film that I'm making from 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago. It's happening today. It's been happening for decades, but it's still happening today as we were making this film. I could go on and on and on. I'll save that for the Q&A tomorrow. So there was just so much overwhelm in making this film, but we got to the finish line.
During the whole story, you also show the pain of the parents of an Israeli army hostage detained by Palestinian resistance. So it's really, how do you say, fou? It's crazy how it's so close to the actual situation. And why was it important for you to show this other side also?
Well, you've just given away a bit of my film. No. Look, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you know how you've said that, in the sense that I believe that if you're telling a story and you're doing it from a truthful place, if you are let's say your main characters are humanized, I personally don't feel the need to dehumanize anyone else's pain or suffering. And in this particular story, there is a little bit of a parallel. Yes, there is a parallel story that's a subplot where a father whose son has been captured. And the initial understanding is this idea of parallels. And yes, they do share in their pain and in their loss. And yes, it is very close to sort of what's happening now, where we have about 150 hostages inside Gaza, and we have around 7,000 hostages in Israeli prisons in military detention of Palestinians.
50 hostages where? From Gaza?
No, I said there's 150 in Gaza and 7,000, whatever, the exact number now, I'm not 100% sure.
More than this.
No, 150 Israelis.
I'm sorry, I thought the Palestinians.
Focus with me, focus.
1,000.
So I said, and Palestinians, there's over 7,000. Actually, the number's more like 10,000 now, because in the last few months in the West Bank, they have been rounding up, the Israeli military have been rounding up every day, dozens and dozens. So there's around 10,000 actually, from what I've understood, the latest count.
Way more after now with Gaza, because they are...
Well, prior to Gaza, it was about 5,500.
The Israelis, I believe they are now 80, less than 150. Some of them went in
have been killed,
released, and most, the others got killed by Israelis.
Israeli bombing, yes.
So they are less than 100, even, so I believe.
Yeah. But I mean, we have so this idea of hostages is something. Yes, I'm not a prophet. It was inspired by a previous story of an Israeli occupation soldier who was abducted, and he was released for over 1,000 Palestinian. This one soldier for 1,000 Palestinian political prisoners, hundreds of whom were children and women, and those under administrative detention who are held without trial or charge. Anyway, so I didn't expect that, but the point being that these two fathers, yes, on the individual level, what I found interesting is that the idea of losing your child or not being able to find your child is universal. That pain, I will not claim it as only a Palestinian pain, but I certainly won't let Israel claim it as only, an Israeli pain in that sense. So that parallel is there between two fathers, yes, but in the film, and in reality, they are also opposite and completely divergent in their recourse for justice. And that was something that interested me as well. And that is why, in many ways, I also have that in the film. So it was an interesting dynamic for me to have these subplots.
Thank you for sharing this with us. Motaz, unlike Mohammed and Farah, you have been working, unlike Mohammed and Farah, who have been working for years on their productions, you have been live streaming the war on Gaza with no delay on reality. How did you start being a war reporter, and did you measure the impact of your digital work as you started?
First, I hate being calling like a war reporter. And I've been used to do beautiful pictures from Gaza. If you will scroll down my Instagram, you will see the beauty I was making. And actually, this beauty I was making because I was kind of depressed, having no opportunities. I remember once of time, I don't know if I have much time to tell, I have a million stories about myself, but it's not about me here.
You have time.
Okay. Once of time I was, in 2020, I was filming or taking pictures. It was the first time for me to see a crossing, Rafah crossing. I was taking pictures for the people who are trying to travel. Thousands of Palestinians waiting to cross through Egypt, and the crossing is closed. And it was the first time for me seeing like crossing and people who want to travel. And I didn't have a passport even. I stand in front of the crossing. I said, one day I will travel. Yeah, like it's a promise for myself. Like a young guy, I was like 21 years old. Year after, 2021 war, I'm making beauty, but with this beauty from Gaza, I don't gain money. So the war came. I covered with my camera for 11 days, and I made a documentary for an American director about what is happening in Gaza. I got paid. I decided to save this money, so I want to travel. I want to take my camera with me and go. But where to go? I can't enter any place in the world. And okay, I thought, okay, let's go to Egypt. I will take my camera with me. And when every photographer in Gaza and journalist knew that I'm going to Egypt with my camera, everyone called me, Motaz, you are crazy. They will take your camera. Don't go with it. So I told myself, no, I will experience this. If I lost it, that's fine. What should I do? But I'm going there because of my camera. I went there. I went like through the checkpoint, and I've been like stuck for 5 hours just because of the camera. You having a camera, why you're coming with the camera? As from Gaza also. Okay, I passed. I went to Egypt. I love Egypt. People are amazing. I took my camera. I tried to travel inside Egypt, take pictures. At the same time, I got an invitation from Siena University in Italy. There was a gallery from Motaz pictures inside the university. I said to myself, okay, let's apply for the visa from Egypt. I went to the office. I didn't understand what it's like a visa or something. It's the first time for me. But I discovered in the end I can't apply from Egypt because I don't have residency here. I need to go back to Gaza to apply for the visa. I said to myself, okay, but you need to apply for the visa just 21 days before the visa because you don't have time. So your application should go to Jerusalem, and then I'll decide if you're good to go or not. I said to myself, okay, I have exactly 22 days. I will leave to Gaza. I didn't continue my trip. I will leave to Gaza and apply from there the moment I arrive, and then I will wait It's just a 5 days visa. That's all I will get. But for me, it's Italy. Oh, want to travel to Europe. As a photographer, it's amazing, like a young man. Okay, I went back to Gaza. Someone make a trouble with the soldier in Sinai desert, and they stopped us for 3 days in Sinai, in Rafah, or not before Rafah either. Yeah. So I've been stuck for 3 days in the road, and just in the car. Okay, 3 days. Okay, maybe I have time. I entered Gaza. I kissed my mom. Hi, Mom. I will go to apply to visa. I took all the papers. I read like application a million times just because to make sure that everything is okay. Okay, go to the office, the VFS, to apply for the visa. I went there. Okay, but Mu'taz, you need to make to apply through the internet, and then you can come with your application. I said, okay, why you don't make it clear just from before I come? I tried to apply for 3 days. It collapsed. Didn't work. I keep clicking and it doesn't work. Okay, system. Okay, after it worked, finally. I went with my application. Someone entered, and you need to do like a fingerprint for the application. He did the fingerprint, he went out, it's my turn. I came just on the door. She closed the door. She was so rude. She's from Gaza. Yeah, but
We have also cool people.
yeah. Don't enter. Why? The fingerprint device is not working. What? Why? I said, I don't know, it's not working. You need to wait. Okay, I waited for 3 hours in the office, and told me, you need to leave, we will close. Like, okay, when I can play application? No, you need to wait. They need to fix it from Ramallah, from the West Bank, and then you can come after applying again. I said, but I don't have time. We don't care. Okay. I waited 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. My mom took the phone, keep cursing them when they calling. She saw that I'm suffering. For 19 days, the fingerprint device didn't work. And the gallery is like after 3 days in Italy. So, okay, I lost the opportunity.
And most, you know why also the device doesn't work? Because there is, you know, like the amount of details, just like to step into a bit to tell you, there's so many things that been banned before like October, been banned to enter Gaza through the Israeli border, because the Egyptian border, we cannot import things. So the Israeli border, the border where we get the electronic stuff, and everything has to be measured. I was in Gaza in January this year, like last year, 2023, after my mom passing away, and I toured around. I wanted like to back up my materials in Gaza to look for like 5 tera hard drive. There's no 5 tera hard drive. It's only allowed 1 or 2 teras.
Yeah.
Just see the details of life, that like you can go here buy like 10 teras and nobody cares. But
I had one for 4 terabytes, but I paid like $1,000 for it. It cost here like $100.
There's so many details, stories, lies of between the details of our lives in Gaza. And the story he told, like probably like many people also like lose so many opportunities for just because of the border situation or the system failure. Because also there is no representation and consulate offices in Gaza. I mean, when I got my first visa to Norway, I got it actually inside the UNDP, the United Nations Development Program building in Gaza. If you don't know what
You're
UNDP.
so lucky to go to that.
And then, a year later, they moved the office to Ram, to the West Bank, and then after that, they moved it totally to Jordan. So they canceled all the consulate office. So if I'm applying to Gaza, for example, let's say Norway, it has to go through Jordan, and then they will give me the answer. But anyway, like it's not the visa question today, I guess.
Yeah, and you know what the funny thing? They made the gallery, and I was I was in Gaza till they made it, and they promised me they will do like a live show so I can watch. The internet collapsed in Italy. Till now, I didn't know what they showed. Where's my pictures?
Amid all these problems regarding your Italy exhibition, you have now almost 20 million followers on Instagram. How did this become possible? Was it an opportunity for you to have all your phone, new technologies? How do you explain that so many people follow you today?
Something you need to know that it's not the first war I cover. It's not the first time I cover. Like if you went to my Instagram, because look, my whole life was on Instagram.
I covered the war. I didn't get 20 million. No.
Well, I want to say, ooh, what's going on here? Oh, I want to say something because I was having this discussion yesterday. There's a lot of journalists in Gaza, and I salute every single one, alive and dead, because we know over 150, I think, have been killed. But one thing to point out is Mu'taz is an artist, and he has been taking photos, as a passion prior to all of this. And there is something in his, because we see so much of the carnage and we see the death and destruction on a lot of journalists and freelance journalists and new journalists and so, but there is something, the unexplainable, the undescribable, that comes down to the fact that he is a photographer, he is an artist. And despite it being death and destruction and gore and there is the underlying feeling of the photos he takes, and I think that is an element of why his journalism has reached so far. So I just wanted to add.
Also, that will make it clear why 20 million. Also.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, dear. I really appreciate this. I really don't wish, more that I wish people know me from my art. Yeah, I was taking really beautiful pictures in Gaza. I don't know, sometimes even during the war, I faced death. I saw that 3 times. They opened fire on me. He threatened me, but I don't know, something from inside, I feel like, okay, I will survive. At the same time, our lives before the war wasn't the best. Even sometimes I feel like it was worse than this. Even wars, okay, it will make you busy more than overthinking about your life. You're losing like time in life, and you did nothing. You're trying your best just to live and survive. To live. Yeah, that's all, but you can't. For me, before the war, I was really depressed. Maybe with all respect, you all just know Mu'taz after 7th of October, but no one knew Mu'taz before 7th of October. And the war didn't make Mu'taz. The war just discovered Mu'taz was struggling in Gaza just to prove himself that, okay, I'm a good person, I'm doing good photography, trying my best to build a future, which I already didn't do till now. Okay, I'm famous, but I didn't wish to be famous like this, through this. Because it will keep with me till the day I die. Okay, Mu'taz famous after the war. No, I don't want this. And especially when I lost like more than 30 persons in this war from my friends, 26 from my family, and the people who are every day I'm meeting. I wish just even, my brain is not working, that's how I feel. I wish to mention every single name of them. And till now, till this moment, I'm talking through this microphone, people are losing their lives. And I'm a kind of people, I just went out of Gaza the moment I felt like I can't do more. What should I show more? I show everything. And okay, let's find out why the war is not moving. Why you just like, okay, no, we don't want your likes. No, we need your fingers to do more.
But believe that is the action. People are driven into action, you know, and don't dismiss that. And I know you'd rather not be well known for that. Totally understand that, 100%. But it is what it is. Trust that it's not just the likes and the likes. No, people are on the streets. People are taking action. People are moving. But believe also that the reason that, I mean, there's 100 reasons that we will know, and then between us and the divine and God, in the end, there is an element of your art in your work, and that's okay, you know?
I actually, yeah, there's kind of art, because I'm not I didn't used to be a photojournalist. I was like making stories for some photo agencies or something before, but in 2021, like my friends, colleagues, they want to take a picture, they just like take the camera, click on the shutter speed, and okay, they got the picture. For me, no, I need to be cool while taking a picture with no stress. There were like people screaming around me, what the hell, I can't take pictures like this, I want to be cool, take pictures. But after it's okay, you need to be fast. I missed a lot of shots more, because I'm not working with the mentality of who the photo matters more. No, I'm working that the human that I'm shooting, that I'm taking picture for, is matter more. Also, I used to be like a paramedic, first responder, and I'm a part of the National Disaster Response Team with the BRCS. So for me, okay, help him to save his life. Nobody will care about the pictures. Okay, I'm a photographer, it's in my blood, but I care about the lives of the humans. Especially in this genocide, since the first day, and then people should know. There's a lot of talk I didn't talk about, because I feel like I want to build like a wall between me and the people to protect myself. Because till now, people are like judging me just because I survived. When I speak in Arabic, oh, you're a spy for Israel, you survived till now. I'm sorry for telling you this, but this hurt me a lot. And when I told like a friend about, don't read the bad comments. But okay, I know millions are supporting me at the same time. A lot of people judging me just because I survived, just because, okay, I got like 18 millions. I didn't choose. I didn't tell the people to follow me. I never asked anyone to follow me. I tell them, okay, go and follow me if you don't like. I don't care. But in Arabic, when you speak in Arabic, you find the comments, oh, you may a spy, you didn't die till now. But in English, you're a hero. Okay. And some people, okay, you're Hamas. Okay, you work with for agendas. Just because I'm independent, telling them what is happening. And until now, since 7th of October, I didn't say my opinion about anything. I just opening the phone, opening my camera. My camera was lagging a lot, so I used the phone a lot. And showing what is happening from my eyes. Like you are in my brain, and you have my eyes seeing what is happening. Didn't see my opinion at all, because I really want the people to care and see like we are humans. I didn't use the mentality of, yeah, we will kill them. No, I just was showing because I know how the world run, which is, believe me, I lost my trust. This,
I mean, every person have the right to survive and to live normal. I don't see like, I mean, in our society, I mean, we all deserve to live as, again, I say it, like to anybody else. Like, and for us at this moment, like of our life, we can't see the life, even here. Like, it's not like when you ask me or ask also all my fellow friends and how are you? Like, I mean, we really don't know how to answer this question.
What about this question? Whenever I meet someone, how do you feel? It's the first time for me to meet him. How should I tell you what I feel in the first meeting? I'm sorry, but I don't have, just, I know, I respect that people care, but okay, I feel good. Thank you so much. I will leave. This is what I will tell you. I'm not going to tell you all the story or all of my pain.
Everything.
Mu'taz, we're processing a genocide. We are all trying to process a genocide. And so everything you're feeling is totally legitimate, understandable, expected, and we're all set on fire every few minutes. And you've lived it. We've just been watching it. So, you know,
I don't know how you have the courage to.
I mean, this is also. I mean, just I want to add, and it's more important than ever to speak, because when you were in Gaza, you had carried an important message, and when you are outside of Gaza, you carry even more. But you have the total right to breathe and to live as normal as you can, even though it's difficult. For me too, for you, for her, for everybody who have like a family member. But at the same time, we all, like after this 5 months, we cannot even mourn, we cannot even feel, we cannot, like how much, like when you receive news every day, sad news, bad news, every hour, every second, that can be also the next second, the next hour, that could be someone you know, someone you love.
Yeah,
and add to this,
it's always easy to talk about, easy to say, more than how do you feel. I'm sorry, but since I went out, I didn't even have a break, at least. Maybe I slept for 2 days, was so tired. And okay, there is food. I sit in front of food. I like I have a problem with him. Oh, he's like a guy, I have a problem with it. No, I can't. When I see food, I want to throw back. I can't eat. I'm telling you what someone from a genocide feels. So I can't eat. I feel always like disgusted. I want to throw back, throw up. Sometimes I feel like I want to hit someone, but I can't.
You can hit me, it's okay.
No, I'm sorry. It's gonna hurt. Everything around you, like you feel, don't have a taste.
But do you feel the impact of your work? And this is a question for all three of you.
I feel it somehow, but I don't want this to be about me personally. It's not about I'm just a tool for his country to show what was happening, for you to act. I'm not waiting anything for some. Like, let's talk something personal I will tell you about. The first day I arrived here, I arrived 6 a.m., 8 a.m., I was in Paris. Why? Geneva, you should discover Geneva. I tried for 4 years to apply for the City of Art in Paris. Yeah, I got refused. You didn't meet our requirements. Yeah, you talk with someone from the West Bank, Gaza's complex. It was like a revenge for me. Okay, I will go to Paris. I went there, I kept walking for 6 hours, just to reach it. Yeah, went every place. And I didn't feel that, oh, it's so special. It was good. Yeah, Paris. And just as like for me, it was a revenge. I met a lot of people who recognize me. And I'm sorry for saying this. I'm not judging anyone. But I came from here, how the things I'm seeing from my eyes. Someone came to me, oh, you're Mu'taz, you're smoking weed. Yeah, and I hate this smell, actually. Okay, brother, God bless you. Sorry for the weed. I'm with you. He continued. Okay, but yani, what should I tell them? What I'm waiting for from the people. In Gaza, we used to have high expectations from the people because we used, yeah, our brothers, Arabs. Okay, when you are in the trouble, oh, I'm sorry, we only can provide you water, and it's not gonna reach every area because Israelis didn't allow it. And people keep cursing Arabs, cursing the whole world because we have always, this is a problem with us actually, the high expectations that you have expectation from someone that he will help you, but when you are in the trouble, no, he's not gonna destroy his life because of you. You're alone.
But Farah, you were commenting before that with the stories of your films, you aim to change the narrative with all the screenings you have done until now. Could you feel that the narrative has changed in the audience, in the public opinion in general?
Yeah, so look, I've been making my films for about 8 years now. So I didn't start making films on October 7th, and I'm not judging my sort of work just based on the last few months. But overall, I can tell you that I have had people come up to me and say, "You're the reason I started my university Palestine Solidarity group," for example, in America, or in the UK, or in, I've had people say to me, until I'd seen one of your films, I really didn't quite know what was going on. I get those kind of emails, I get those. So I know, I'm not alone changing the world, the whole Mother Teresa thing. I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the water and create many ripples. I believe that, and I do forge forward with that. There are days that are very dark, and I think, what's the point? There was a period after October 7th where the last 4 years of my life and my hard work for the teacher felt like it was dead at birth. But I'll give you a little example when the former CIA director, John Brennan, I'm not a fan, but he felt compelled when he saw the film The Present on Netflix, I guess, is where he saw it, to write an op-ed that was a full page in the New York Times. And the picture at the top was Yasmin from the film. And he wrote about why he felt it's time that we realize that the youth of Palestine and people want their freedom and. A week later, he was on Christiane Amanpour, and she was talking about Mexico, China, and what compelled you to write an op-ed in the New York Times. And what I realized is that that same week, Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International, the most credible human rights organizations on the planet, had come out with their reports on, that what we all knew already, that Israel is an apartheid state. And I couldn't believe he was writing about a fiction film and referring to my fiction character, Yasmin. So it really, really hit home how sometimes, with the storytelling, with the films, it's an entry point and it's a way to engage. The film was brought up in the Houses of Parliament in the UK and in Congress. So I believe that it's not just my film, it's a collective, it's like an ecosystem with the NGOs, with the BDS, Boycott, Divestment, Sanction movement, with the filmmakers, with the artists, with the music, with everything. But I do believe it goes in the right direction, and I believe that all our work in every capacity does make a difference. That is why we are witnessing on the population level, globally, the vast, vast majority of people are outraged. I mean, it really is. And so we have to keep telling our stories. We have to keep pushing forward. And this is where I turn to Martaz again and say, it's horrible. This is why you are here. It really is. But trust me, when I'm in London and I'm surrounded by 700,000 people marching, you are a big part. The work you did was a big part of showing. They weren't allowing journalists. They're still not allowing journalists inside. So don't dismiss that. It is changing, and it's so painful and unfortunate. We are witnessing the forced, deliberate starvation. We are witnessing, but the cracks are there, and it will crumble. It will. It has to end, and it will end.
Thank you very much, Farah.
It will.
Hopefully.
This is the best conclusion.
It will, and that's why when these things happen, we wouldn't be where we are today with those pressure and that pressure that we are seeing now, especially in the US and so forth. That wouldn't be there without people like Martaz having shown the world what was taking place. So,
The world waited since 1948 for Martaz to show up. And
no, it's not you alone, Martaz. You have to understand that. I know it feels like the weight is on your shoulders, but it's not you alone either. And that's important, and that's why you get to breathe in between, because there are others doing other work as well. But I know the feeling, because I've been in that place where people had said to me, oh, your film's so important, and you've got to do this, and you've got to do, and it's like, it's not me alone, it's the collective. And we take, so.
The responsibility on me, it's not only like I'm a journalist, a photographer now. People now asking me to bring them food. People ask me to stop the war. People asking me, okay, Mataz, bring us out from Gaza. Guys, I literally, okay, I have 18 million followers. I don't have $18 million.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for all you three to sharing the stories with us. We will not give a chance for the audience to ask their questions. So if somebody has any questions, si quelqu'un a une question, vous pouvez simplement lever la main. Et...
There are a lot. I'm sorry, I didn't see it well, frankly. I'm so sorry.
Oh, une question là-bas, juste devant moi.
I don't need the mic. Is it okay? I just wanted to, yeah? Okay. Thank you. It's not really a question. I just wanted to thank all three of you for what you do in different ways and say something which I hope is a bit of encouragement to Martez in particular, which a cousin of mine said to me today, because I too, like millions of people, feel that everything that we do sometimes is for nothing, and you say, how come it's still just a drop in the ocean of the whole world? Because there's an impact, but not enough impact, not quickly enough, and sometimes it feels hopeless. And my cousin said to me today, because he's a scientist, he just said, you know what? Direction is more important than velocity. It's more important than speed, it's direction. And you get there in the end. So it can only take patience and belief that everything that everyone does in their own small way, whether it's a post on Instagram or sharing photos or experiences, or even saying, Martez, what I went through is so bad that I can't even talk about it, I can't face it, or I'll collapse. Every admission has its impact in its way, and we just have to believe that and talk to others who feel the same way for support, because otherwise we all give up. That's what I want to say, and thank you all so much for what you do. And,
There's Steph.
Au fond, à gauche.
Thank you, merci. I would also like to start by saying thank you for your bravery. I mean, words fail me. I don't know what to say to you, Motaz, as well. I've been following you for quite some time. So I'll just ask my question. I work with students, I work with young people, with a lot of young people around the world. And here in Geneva, I work in social change. I work in all things diversity and inclusion. And I currently have a lot of students who are young and also realizing what the reality of the world is. They have access to social media, and thanks to people like you, they are seeing what's happening. And so with what they're seeing and with the opening of their eyes to reality comes disappointment in the silence and the complicity of the adults in their lives, in the institutions that they live in. So my question is a broad question. Do you have a message for my students and any young people around the world who want to see a different future, not only for Palestinians, right now, very much so for Palestinians, but for everyone who is living under oppression? Thank you.
Okay, I'm not the best to give advices, actually. I need someone to give me advice, but thank you. For their life, just wait now. Let's put Gaza aside now. For their lives, just I want to give them advice that from the things I've been through, that don't ever wait for luck. Believe me. Okay, after all of this, now I did something in the end. Sometimes I should show some respect for myself, for what I did. Don't ever, for your students, for everyone who's hearing Mu'taz, and trust Mu'taz's words. Don't ever wait for luck or even to wait. Go for anything you need. Go. Believe me, I don't want to I swear or something, because I believe people trust Mu'taz, trust Mu'taz's words. Because of that, I respect myself. I need to respect myself, because now I'm something for people. So I need to be good. Before all of this, I was so desperate, so depressed, looking for a job, looking for opportunity, and keep imagining myself. I keep listening to Hall of Fame. I don't know if someone knows the song. I keep imagining myself with this song. Like I spent 7 years hearing the same song on my way to the college, when I'm sitting in my favorite cafe, and just hearing the song, imagining myself. This is what was my life. Okay, don't have opportunities. My future is blurry, but once of time, everything changed. And you don't know how. About Gaza, I wish everyone, every human, to be himself. Believe me, because if you're a real human, you will be on the right side from the story. And you don't wish, in the end, to be at the bad or the wrong side of the story, because the history, believe me, will destroy you. And yeah, so if you will be a human, believe me, they will read and they will know. But just don't ask him to go to Google, because the already Zionists who made Google, so you will not find the realities there. What I did and what other from my colleagues did, it's just showing what is happening on the ground, and the people was just waiting to see this, because they were blind about what's happening in Gaza. I know it's happened on our destruction, our death, but in the end it happened. We can't go back in time, or else it happened. What should we? Okay, do your best now to do your duty to your country, so at least the people understand well. I know. From inside, okay, I wish the war to stop. I need people to act more, but I know that everyone is doing his best. And while you're doing your best, thank you for being you. That's all. There's no men here. There's no males. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
Thank you. Mohamed, Mota, Farah, thank you very much for your work and your presence. I have a question for you three. Do you think that those who decide will let your generation or younger one to build a federal state in Palestine and Israel, like a state like Switzerland, where Jewish, Muslims and Christians can live together? Thank you.
who want to answer?
I mean, I can start at least.
Okay,
like I can
go
say
ahead.
like.
I have an answer, so I'll wait from Hamid.
But, excuse me, you can answer quickly, but it's not really the aim of this discussion to talk about politics. It's more to talk about the work.
No,
but answer quickly.
I think it's a great platform to use. I think I would say let Palestinian. Nobody should give us what we to decide to our own country. We decide ourselves first. So not they or them or he or she. We decide, and let us handle it by ourselves. Like we gonna handle it ourselves. Was first end this fucking genocide and the occupation that making our life miserable. That's what I can say.
You didn't need this. Okay, dear, just to understand, before 1948 there was Jewish in Palestine. Palestine have Jewish, Christians, Muslims, and even other religions. And it was, people were living in peace till Balfour Promise. They promised after the World War II because of fucking Hitler. And they promised him to bring him to Palestine, which was like full with people. And but the problem till now, the two-state solution, that it's just because we are not strong enough to face this military, Israel itself don't accept it. The two-state solutions, they don't accept it. So how should we deal with this, like, stay there? And also we can't talk, like you mentioned Switzerland, people were originally from here, but they came there. It's our country, and they wasn't there, but they came from Europe to Palestine, from everywhere in the world. And I would like to call Israel like a state. Till now, they don't have a borders. There's no clear borders to Israel, so it's not a state. But they recognize Israel as a state, and me as a stateless. Yeah, from Texas.
Thank you very much. My name is Christine Hausel, and I'm representing an NGO called Local Community Prosperity Alliance, which focuses on local communities, and really appreciate your work. Thank you to this festival for holding the space for this discussion. And I just wanted to mention that I've just become aware of a platform called ShareDoc, and Life is Beautiful is connected to this new platform, which is focusing on impact. And so it's really so important that this festival is focusing on learning how to make the connection for greater impact. And this is one tool, I think, which is focusing on the protagonist of the films and the project that they're working on. And so these flyers are going to be at the door, and the website is share-doc.org. And it's in the hands of the project owners, you know, to see how we can contribute. So it's a way of making a connection and follow-up that I've just found out about. So let's all learn more about this together. Thank you.
Sorry, can I, hello, Cecilia, over here? Remember me?
Excuse me,
Is it gone?
In the audience.
I just want to add something to do with the young and the students, and it kind of connects with the issue of a one state and a two state. And just to throw in there, I think it's just so important to teach, I'm not sure how young these students are, but ultimately the youth, to be active, to get involved. Our democracies around the world are broken, and it's on us from a grassroots level to make democracies work the way they are supposed to. You have to force the hand, and it doesn't happen by feeling bad and just sitting on our butts. You have to get involved, you have to get active. It's all about action. So I would say that is what you need to encourage the youth of tomorrow, as it were, to be. And so when we talk about a one state, two state, we are already in a de facto one-state apartheid state, okay? A two-state solution with compensation was a beautiful idea, and Israel insisted for decades to continue to expand its settler colonial endeavors, and they've been building illegal settlements all over the West Bank and blockading Gaza for 17 years. So they have created the facts on the ground with over 600,000 illegal Israeli settlers all over the West Bank, not inside historic Palestine, not inside Israel, where 78% of historic Palestine became Israel through ethnic cleansing in 1948. Okay, so that state exists. It's a de facto apartheid state. The question now is, do we take action and put the pressures and get involved and make democracy work the way it's supposed to in America, in the UK, in Europe, to insist that it is no longer an apartheid state, which means dismantling occupation and colonization. Of course, first, a ceasefire, stopping the genocide, and so in the end, it looks like we are already in that one state. It should be a state that offers freedom and equality and democracy for all, with anyone, with any religion or none. That should be the ultimate thing if there is no dismantling of the 600,000 illegal settlers in the West Bank.
We now have time for one last question. So, juste là.
Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for being here, and yeah, day 155, I think, of this genocide. I agree with you, Motaz. I don't know what is left to say, actually. But since we are in Switzerland, and since there's also a lot going on in Switzerland, what do you expect, like, from Swiss government to do, actually?
To send chocolates for Gaza? Because people really miss chocolate. Believe me, I swear. At least. No, we are here in Geneva, where it's like the mother of NGOs, mother of United Nations office. And I don't know, they should act. They should just do their job. That's all. Yeah, just do their job.
Last question.
He nailed it. He kept waiting.
Shukran, and thank you, Muhammad, Ma'taz, and Farah for being here today. It's not a question, it's just an acknowledgement and I will thank you that you had filled the gap. You had done what the whole West and people who claim human rights and humanity and so on, they consistently and continuously, to this day, they continue to fail in showing the reality of what's happening in Palestine. You yourselves and every Palestinian, I think you have showed us and exposed the reality of the only democracy in the Middle East. And the whole West, the whole Western media continue to fail to do so and to tell the truth. So we need to acknowledge that, and we need to acknowledge that what you're doing, we're not glorifying the suffering, but we're glorifying that through your storytelling, you're exposing the reality of today's world. And thanks, I'll leave it here.
Thank you so much for saying this with emotions. I hear you, but for me, this time was different. This time, even the Western media that it's always being with Israel, pro-Israelis, couldn't be able to do their work. Kind of, we kicked their ass, let's say. Yeah, but also they kept doing their work to be pro-Israelis. Look, what's happened with them? First, yeah, shown, okay, pro-Israelis, then they start to lose audience. No one is with us. Okay, let's be in both sides. Okay, they are like a different media outlet. They just like interviewing me just because they want audience. That's all. They don't care about me. Just because they want our audience to accept, oh, okay, we have interviewed, we are in the both sides. We are in neutral. And but who decide just to follow them? Well, not leave him alone. He want this. He choose this. He don't want to hear reality. He want to hear what he want to hear. That's all. So why to care about these people? The people who just want, okay, I want to listen from this side. I don't trust anyone else. He don't want to discover. He's so, how to say, lazy. Sorry, I keep forgetting vocabs. He's so lazy that he don't want to move his ass to change the channel to check what is happening. So let's leave him alone. We don't need him. He's like this. What you choose to be like this. So yeah, but this time was different. Even Western media. We are here in the Western media. We are people from the West. With all respect, I don't mean an insult for anyone. I respect you very much. I respect this country. I hope to be able to live in peace forever. But at least someone someone to okay, stop this war, stop the genocide, guys. You saw it in 4K, like in 1948 there's some pictures, black and white, okay. But now you're seeing live, 4K, and someone using his art to show also the genocide. What do you need next to move? That's all.
Thank you very much.
Can you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one last question.
One last question. It's the very last.
Stephanie here. Sorry, Stephanie.
I just want to widen a little bit what you have said, and what you have said is so important. But we need the gaze of the Palestinian filmmakers in general to discover what's going on in Palestine every day, not only because of the war now, but just before already. You know, to discover that there are people, they do exist, the Palestinian, if even the Israelis are saying they do not exist. They do exist. They have a culture. They have a way of living. They have a food, a cooking. They have everyday life that we can discover through the gaze of the Palestinian filmmakers. And it's so precious, you know, because if we are waiting on the media or other ones, as you said, to discover what's going on in Palestine, we can wait a long time. So we need you, all your gazes, to understand what's going on in your country and what's going on with the Palestinian people every day, not only during the war, because people are anxious now to know what's going on because it's war. But Palestine exists even when there is no war. So thank you so much for your work, to all of you.
And there is a film festival about Palestinian films every year in Geneva. Palestine, filmer, c'est exister. So be there next year.
Yeah, just get us the visa and we will be there.
Free us from the visa. Don't give us the visa. Free us from the visa. Oh, yeah. Salam.
Okay. Yes, it's finished now, but the festival wants to make a picture with the audience, so please stay. S'il vous plaît, ne partez pas tout de suite.
We can take a selfie if you
So we can take a picture, and you want to take a selfie as you do always.